Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. It must be 2011 because we got party rockers in the house tonight. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, here with my pal and fellow party rocker. It's Steven Robles. How you doing, man?
I know you threw it to me just then, but your thing froze, and so I'm going to pretend like this is my opening to speak. And so we played this game before the recording. Andrew, tell me when you hear me say the word chicken.
You've already said it.
Okay, perfect. So we're back in sync.
Down.
That's
okay.
Listen. That's a pro tip. Pro tip for those who record remotely: have a safe word and say, when you hear this word, tell me. And you can tell how far that delay is. So anyway, chicken. Party rockin' in the house tonight. That's the song you're talking about, right? Something like that.
It came out in 2011, which I never generally feel old, but something like that just makes me feel a little older when I realize that came out more than a decade ago. But
I mean, when you start thinking about Apple and like the iPhone came out, you know, it just celebrated 15-year anniversary, and it's like 5 years from now it will be 20 years old. That makes me feel old. That's
yeah, bizarre.
Anyway, what was your first iPhone? I don't know if we ever talked about that when the anniversary came around. Which one was your first?
It was not an early iPhone because I was on Verizon and they had the whole exclusivity deal with AT&T. And like I know my mom and a few others in my family switched over to AT&T for a time to use the iPhone. And then as soon as that exclusivity ended, they kicked their contracts to the bucket and jumped back to Verizon as fast as they possibly could. Yeah. But I think it was probably a year or so after it was with Verizon, so I'd say it was like one of the iPhone 4s. I think I had like the coveted white iPhone 4 because it only came out with black originally, if I'm remembering my iPhone lore correctly. But yeah, I think that's where it was.
Yeah, the white iPhone 4 came out on Verizon, and it was like after... You know, it was like a year or something after the iPhone 4 came out. But that white one, it was coveted. And the iPhone 4 was my first as well. FaceTime was the big feature on that. But anyway, that's not HomeKit related. And we'll talk about some HomeKit stuff, you know, because this is HomeKit Insider.
Yes, we could do that. I guess.
I'll do a couple 5-star review shout-outs real quick. Robert Cotula from the UK and Tata the Great from Canada. I don't know if he has some kind of, position up there. Like the Great, like Ivan the Great. But yeah, we're very honored that Tata the Great reviewed HomeKit Insider.
Very honored.
Very honored. Thank you, Tata. All right, so we actually got some news. Aqara actually has released their curtain driver E1 model, and it is now available to purchase pretty much in most places. You can get it in North America, in Europe, other European countries. You get it available on Amazon and Aqara retailers. This is much like the SwitchBot curtain thing where it attaches to your curtain rod and it will manually, like a robot hand, push your curtain to the side to open your curtain. And now you have an option for this curtain driver. And, of course, because it's Aqara, if you have an Aqara hub, it will work with HomeKit. Cool new curtain thing there.
I know. Oh. So in my home, I don't know about you, I don't have any, like, curtains going on. Not a big curtain guy.
No.
But I'm like, this would be just kind of fun to test. It looks cool. I like that it's a little robot that just drives down the rod and like, yeah, robot. So my first thought was like, I should just put this on our one shower that has a curtain and just start testing it with the shower curtain. I'm like, it seems like it's too far when you start using a robot to open your shower curtain.
Andrew, I am not above automating anything. As we will talk about a little later in this episode, we finally got our pool set up and everything, and I'm in my head trying to figure out how I can automate this thing because, well, anyway, we'll talk about it then. There's a lot of manual levers and pulleys, and it's like I need SwitchBot to make not just a robot finger, but a robot arm, so it can like reach down, turn a knob, and then lift up. That's what I need SwitchBot to do. So maybe they're working on that. I just need a robot. I just need a robot that can walk around. That's what I need. Listen, the first HomeKit clothes folding robot, I think will make a killing. That'd be something.
That's already. I think you can already get a clothes folding robot at CES every year.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
it goes into your closet and does all your folding for you.
Are you for real? Is that a real thing?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Okay, but is this like vaporware? Or can you actually buy this?
I'm pretty sure you can buy it for a lot of money.
Okay, now wait a minute. I'm seeing something from 2019. Foldimate's laundry folding machine actually works. And this is a Verge article. I'll put a link to this article in the show notes. It supposedly folds a shirt. It seems to do it very slowly. I feel like,
well, if it's automated, it doesn't need to be fast, Steven. It can do it on its own time.
Just wake up to a bunch of folded clothes. Okay. All right. We'll see. Foldimate. I'll put that in the show notes. You guys can enjoy that. All right. Also, Nanoleaf is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Talking about feeling old. My goodness. 10 years old for Nanoleaf. But Andrew, is this a re-release? Is this something they had in the past, or is this a new version of its product?
This is a new version of its product.
New version. Very cool. And this is the popular shapes panels, but in black. Is that what I'm seeing here? Just black background?
That's what you're seeing.
That's what I'm seeing. These are very nice, man. This looks like a black panel. This will be the image for the chapter art if you're listening in your podcast player, but that looks pretty slick. I mean, basically the shapes are black instead of white. If you've ever gotten Nanoleaf shapes in the past, they're very white. I like these black ones. Andrew, this is very nice. Oh, my goodness.
They do look very nice.
Oh, your video window was behind my browser window, and Andrew is holding it up right now in the YouTube. Oh, man, this is very cool.
I know. Camera doesn't want to focus on it, but
it doesn't focus because it's just a black
this is one of the black panels. So they basically just blacked everything. So the panels are black, the connectors are black, the controller, the power cable, everything is black. And what's really neat about these, Steven, is like they're black, but then the middles light up. And when I first saw them, I kind of thought like, okay, they're gonna be black around the edges and then like white in the middle, like where the light lives. And no, it's all black, and then the black goes away and light appears and like colors and everything, which is really cool. The only thing I'd say, I haven't gotten my mounted yet because I committal issues with mounting things on walls. Like install these with gloves basically, because like I touch them and like even like dry fingers right now, I'm like leaving like oil marks on them. It's like a matte black finish. And so I tried like scrubbing it with like microfiber cloth. I even used Apple's professional high level quality cleaning cloth, and it still isn't taking off all these oils. So I do definitely recommend like just being careful when you put them up. Because that matte black, like they're like, oh, we support like the touch functionality, like all the rest of their stuff. But I'm not gonna poke these with my hands because the black just shows any fingerprints much more easily than the white ones do. But I think they look really awesome. I love the look of these more than their standard ones. And we did like that black covers for the lines, but you could still see like the corner pieces that were white. Yeah. Things like that. Not an issue with these. Just straight up black all across the board. So really cool.
Those are really cool. And listen, I have the Apple polishing cloth as well. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like the Apple polishing cloth is a little lackluster in its polishing ability. And so, I always recommend, not a sponsor, but Whoosh, the Whoosh cloths. And what is that little thing there? If you're watching on YouTube, my cloth has a little, what is that? There we go. The Whoosh cloth. Anyway, I like them for wiping stuff down. What's cool, though, some people go crazy in these Nanoleaf setups, and they'll cover like an entire wall. And it looks awesome when it's on. But previously, if you covered like an entire wall with those, you'd see all the weird, the difference between the white and then like the clearish where the light comes out of. I feel like if you cover an entire wall with these, that would look pretty sweet off because it would just be like a blackout wall. And then just for it to turn on and illuminate, I mean, that seems like it would be pretty cool. Probably cost $1 million, but be pretty sweet. Nano, if you want to send me that much stuff to cover a wall, I'll do it, for science. For science sake.
Yeah, for science.
For science. No, that's really cool. So anyway, speaking of blacking out a wall, let's talk about one of our friends, Zocdoc. It's not related at all, but I couldn't figure out a good transition. But we want to thank
Speaking
one of our
of
friends.
that foot that's turned all black, and you might need to get it checked out.
That was pretty good, Andrew. I like that. Or black and blue, or black eye, and you got in a fight. Listen, you probably need a doctor. And you don't want just any doctor. You want a doctor that actually takes your insurance. And so, when you call and you make an appointment to a doctor, they're like, yeah, we can get you about 3 months in from now. And then you finally go, and what happens? They don't take your insurance, and then you got to through the whole process all over again. Well, don't do that anymore. You don't want to do that. Get the Zocdoc app. It is a free app, shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, they take your insurance, and are available when you need them. You can make an appointment as soon as in the next 24 hours. You can do telehealth or in person. You can do both. And you put your insurance plan and like your provider and your plan, and it will tell you the doctors that take that exact insurance. The mobile app is easy to use. Again, you get those reviews of local doctors, peer reviews, so you can see what other people think of these doctors. And again, book that appointment in person or remotely. Right for you. Millions use Zocdoc. No, not DocDoc. Zocdoc. Zocdoc. And you've tried Zocdoc before, right?
I haven't. I have not tried it yet, but no. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I go back to like my regular doctors fairly frequently because, they want to make sure you're not dead and stuff. So like, I see them regularly, but when I have like something random come up, I do struggle to find a flipping doctor that is on my insurance and is closed and is open and has availabilities and it's not like 3 months out. Like it always is a hassle and stresses me the heck out, so much so that I don't even do it half the time. Like I don't care if I have a necrotic foot. It's easier just to not do it, but it's easier now because you can use Zocdoc to actually find someone that checks all those boxes and that you can get into when you need to. I
use Zocdoc. If you're watching on YouTube, there's the app right here on my phone, and I use it to find primary care specialists, all those doctors. Millions of people use Zocdoc, and again, I'm one of them, so go to it. Free app. Go to Zocdoc.com/HKI for HomeKit Insider. Download the Zocdoc app for free. Start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/HKI, Zocdoc.com/HKI. One of the little morning FM radio voice for that one. So that's how I do. That's how I do. All right, Andrew, let's see. What do we have up next? Oh, iDevices. This was something that was supposed to be in last week, and I think I moved the screenshot too far down the note. So talk to me about iDevices, one of those original HomeKit brands. What's going on with them?
Yeah, man. So we had talked about iDevices like a few times, and we've kind of been basically wondering just like, what? That was our just main sentiment. They used to have like a big presence at CES every year, like huge booth, and they got purchased by like a ceiling fan company or something, and like some of their products never materialized, like their HomeKit enabled fan controller that they announced, I don't think ever made it to market. Well, I kind of wondered if they were just like dead or flatlining, but then I got an email, not a PR work email. I got one just from iDevices because I bought so many of their things in the past. They apparently have a new range of Z-Wave smart devices, and they have integrations directly with Alarm.com, ADT, Ring, Vivint, and a new lower cost because they're not doing the HomeKit certification. They're all Z-Wave devices and not Wi-Fi or anything like that. So they've got dimmers, switches, and receptacles. So they're apparently still around. They're still around. They're introducing new products. They're not HomeKit, which is, of course, a bummer as far as we care. But it just makes me feel better that the company is still around because they do have some really innovative products. I love the little night lights that they have on their switches and their outlets. A lot of cool stuff you can do. They have these tiny little drawers that will slide out of their switches that you can like view to scan the HomeKit code and just like tuck away. Without having to like remove everything. So they do some really neat things, and I'm just crossing my fingers that we're actually going to see new HomeKit gear from them at some point, now that we know that they are at least still functioning, still putting out products.
Yeah, very cool. And it's not HomeKit, but I do want to mention, we actually had this CEO on the show probably over a year ago now, but the Thinka CEO, and Thinka had made a Z-Wave hub for HomeKit. It is not inexpensive. It's 354 euros, which I think is about $1 million US. But the Thinka Hub can add any Z-Wave device to HomeKit. The problem is it's difficult to get also, not just that it's priced, but like if you try to buy it here from the US, like it's not, you can't even choose like your shipping address. Like there's not a US
There might be additional Z-Wave hubs now. Like Thinka was, I think, the OG of that. But I think since
Right.
then there have been others that have come to the U.S.,
Okay.
but none that I have tested or am familiar with.
Yeah. So maybe that might be a topic for a nearby show. But if listeners out there have ever used a Z-Wave hub to get things in HomeKit, maybe in addition to like Homebridge, I'm sure Homebridge has some crazy integrations with different products. But if there's actually just a hub specifically for Z-Wave products to HomeKit, I'd be interested to hear about it. You should tweet those out. And I'll put a link to the Thinka one too, because if you're in the UK or Europe, you can get the Thinka hub and you can just get it shipped. Just buy it from their site. Now, you have a mysterious note in here. Wemo 3D print? What?
Yeah.
What is that? What is
so?
that?
Take us back, Stephen, to a previous time where we had a listener question talking about mounting the Wemo stage scene controller deeper into the wall.
Yes. That was Jake
Ringing
the
your bells.
I believe he was asking about
Yes.
this. Yes.
So we have the best listeners or watchers, whatever they are. But I got an email from Simon, who is here in Ohio, not far away from where I am. And Simon sent me this email, and he said he had the same problem with his Wemo Stage Scene controller, and he owns a 3D printer. So he sorted this out for himself. So check this out, Stephen. Here's the first picture that I will show you.
Oh.
That's the OG one, along with a 3D printed one.
Whoa.
And there it is, installed. Look how pretty and seamless that looks.
Much more flush to the wall. I like that.
Yep, but still a little bit of an edge that you can pull out if you would need to. And so Simon has very graciously offered to send over a 3D design file to Jake or anybody else who wants one. And he even said that he would send one of these to that specific listener. Send that file to the specific listener. So yeah, we'll hook everybody up. But Jake, it looks like Simon here has you covered with this 3D print file of how to do this. I think this is so cool, and I am excited by this. This is such a cool little modification to get that to work in a better way. So
that is incredible. It's incredible to hear about like HomeKit listeners and viewers from across the world like collaborating. This guy making a 3D printed thing, and oh my goodness, that's really cool. That is very cool. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if Simon, if this is an interest to other HomeKit listeners and viewers, I don't know. Simon needs to set up that Shopify store, man. Just sell some of these 3D printed
3D print on demand. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've always thought about getting a have you ever messed with 3D printing? Getting a 3D printer? You have? Do you have
I don't have one, mainly because I don't want to commit the space to one. We already have like plenty of stuff around here. Now, we're cooking that baby, so that's like more things that are going to exist around here.
Andrew means his wife is pregnant.
Yes, I mean, I guess that's the way other people would say it.
You can say there's a bun in the oven or whatever, but yeah.
That always sounds weird.
I know, that's the old school, but anyway.
And Faith's a baker, so she could literally mean she's got some buns on the oven. I could get really excited for some fresh bread, and then she'd be like, no.
No, I was just talking about the baby. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah. See, I want to get disappointed. Okay. Anyway.
3D printing.
Yes, so I don't have a 3D printer here. My dad has a few. I've like looked at and kind of reviewed some of them. I've done stuff with like the Crickets because they're smaller, so you're not printing, but at least similar, like kind of 3D cutting and stuff. And we have like a CNC down at like the wood shop that I'll use. So I've played with them, tinkered with them, but I don't have one here at the house.
That's cool though. I've thought about it just for like little cases like this, and also, now that we're in the home, like every once in a while I'll need a screw, like a specific size. And obviously you can like use a 3D printed screw probably to like drill into something. But when you need to just replace a little thing, like I had an entertainment center handle come off and it was a tiny screw, like a unique size. I'm always like, man, I could probably 3D print this, but
for sure. And they're coming more affordable now. Like this is relevant to like one of our sponsors that we often have on the show, but the Nubia by Moen shower. I have a really funky shower where like the wall like sticks out and then it like recesses back, and there was a gap towards the bottom. Like it still functioned everything perfectly fine, but it wasn't like it didn't sit flush. And like, oh man, I need something there. 3D printed just basically a large, thicker black washer that would fit right behind it, filled in the gap, everything looked great, and was perfect. But it was like those really random niche scenarios where you're like, I just need to custom make this tiny little part to fit on, and boom, you're good to go.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you mentioned Nubia, because one of our sponsors this week, I don't know if you planned that or not, is Nubia.
I didn't.
You did not. Oh my goodness. Well, look at that. That's a perfect transition, because listen, we love Nubia. I've basically become, my entire bathroom is basically sponsored by Nubia. But they didn't give me stuff. I just kept buying it because I love it.
Yeah, you're wearing a homemade Nubia shirt right now.
That's right. No, that's not accurate. They don't make shirts, I don't think. But anyway, no, but listen.
I said homemade. You did it yourself.
Oh, homemade, right. I recently bought the Nubia towels. I got the Nubia by Moen Quick Dry Earth Mat. And, of course, the highlight of the Nubia products was the Nubia by Moen Spa Shower and the Quattro. Got those. Listen, you've heard us talk about Nubia. You can save up to 45% of water, but get 81% more powerful showering than the competition. Atomizes the water. It feels great. It's like a spa in the bathroom. And again, it's easy to install. I switched mine out in like 15 minutes or less, even though I'd never switched out a shower head before. They give you all the parts you need, everything, and it's an upgraded shower experience. I like the magic wand, too, for the Nubia by Moen Spa Shower. You know, you get that wand everywhere, little magnetic dome, stick on the wall. I love it. I mean, my entire bathroom is all Nubia stuff. And you got a Nubia, too, as well. I know you got one.
Yeah, we got the Nubia one in there. I was dying to hear how you like those new shower towels you got.
I do
shower
like them.
Towels, specifically shower towels.
Specifically shower towels. They're very nice. They came in this like navy blue, and it matches the stuff we got in the bathroom. And they had this little loop specifically so you can hang the towel on a hook. Now, that might sound like a simple thing, but, you know, most towels, if you want to hang them on a hook, you either got to like bunch it up or like roll it up a little bit, otherwise it's going to slide off. Just to have that little loop so you can just hang the towel easily on a hook if you don't have a bar. We also have a pool bath now, and it's nice to be able to put hooks in there rather than bars, because bars take up a lot of room. So, man, just that little hook, and it's extremely soft, but still dries. It's wonderful. Love the towel. Quick Dry Earth Mat, I got to say, though, is still one of my favorite. That diatomaceous earth that you had looked before. I step on it. It feels like it's sucking the water out of my feet in a good way, and it's just wonderful. So I highly recommend. Get all the accessories, get all the towels, get all the earth mats. But, of course, start with the shower. So the Nubia by Moen Spa Shower starts at just $199. And for HomeKit Insider listeners, we have a deal. Nubia.com/HomeKit. Use that promo code HomeKit to get 10% off all the products, whatever you want. The mat, the towels, the showers. Nubia doesn't do sales with other people, but listen, they partnered with us for a long time. Use the promo code HomeKit, get 10% off. Nubia.com/HomeKit, Nebia.com/HomeKit. Check out what they have to offer and save 10% with promo code HomeKit. HomeKit. All right, what else we got here? Now, there was some rigmarole about Bluetooth and security when it comes to smart home devices. So, Andrew, tell me, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, so this isn't like super duper new. Like, not super duper. It came out at the end of May, I guess, and I didn't see too much coverage on the matter. But we had
it's
a reader...
gonna be May. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
You said May.
If that happened, can I edit that out in live video?
Yeah, just cut it out. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so there's basically this thing that came out at the end of May that was talking about a Bluetooth security issue. I had not seen a ton about it, and a listener sent it in and basically said, hey, what do you make of this? How does this apply to the HomeKit realm? All of that stuff. So I first reached out to just a couple companies that make Bluetooth HomeKit products and kind of wanted to get their take on this because we're getting to really specifics. But the article talks about how this vulnerability in Bluetooth that cannot be patched is able to be exploited, and people can unlock smart locks and unlock like your car using this exploit. So I wondered, like, okay, how is this applying to us? And I reached out to one of the ones I reached out to was Eve. Like, they especially early on were like, we're all Bluetooth before switching to like 2 Wi-Fi products and Thread. But they say that they do not believe that the issue would have any effect on Eve's accessories, and I'm going to make the leap of, for the most part, HomeKit accessories. As far as smart locks go, it'll highly depend on the proprietary non-HomeKit functionality. For HomeKit, there's no such thing as the nearby unlock or anything similar. So the exploit that's being used here, if you were solely using HomeKit you're safe. You're in the clear. That's why we love HomeKit. If you're using some of the lock's non-HomeKit functionality, there could be issues there. But again, if you're staying in HomeKit, these Bluetooth issues are a non-issue for you. So that is good to know. It's just nice to confirm these things.
Good to know. You know, it's also like the camera stuff that happened years ago where people hack into cameras or whatever and talk through it and stuff. So, yeah, HomeKit. Listen, I just go with it. You know, actually, I'll tell the story here. I was at the barber, as you say, you know, got some hairs cut, and this lady was talking about the Amazon Ring doorbell. She was trying to buy an Amazon Ring doorbell for her mother, who I guess is elderly. And first of all, I tried to convince her on HomeKit. You know, I was like, listen, you can get a doorbell where you don't have to pay a subscription fee. You know, usually that makes people interested. That's kind of my foray into saying, get a, you know, HomeKit Secure Video, so you don't have to pay another $10 a month or whatever. Apparently, they don't pay for iCloud, which it amazes me that there's still people that don't pay for iCloud out there. I don't know. There's no backup. I don't know if they understand, Andrew, what they're doing. But anyway, she was asking, like, this thing says it requires 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. You know, do I even have that? And it made me sad, like, because first of all, I feel like Amazon saying that as a requirement will confuse people more than it actually helps. Like, I think normal people have no idea that 2.4 is just like regular Wi-Fi. Like, if you have the Wi-Fi router given to you by whatever internet provider, like, you have 2.4 gigahertz. Like, it just works. But, you know, just thinking about people's default when it comes to outdoor cameras and doorbells, I guess to Amazon's credit, people just think of Ring. Like, Ring is just the default that everybody goes to. And I don't know, Andrew, I don't know how, if we can have our podcast stem the tide, but I don't know, like, if you ever have someone ask you about cameras or they talk about the Ring stuff, do you try to, like, steer them away? Like, do you ever have, like, persuasive tools that you use aside from, like, iCloud or whatever to help maybe steer people away from the Ring stuff?
I really don't like the Ring stuff for, like, you know, many reasons aside from, like, the Amazon ownership now. There's been a lot of security issues, the additional monitoring cost for it. Like, there's a lot of, and like the lying about eventual HomeKit support, you know, we'll see, but
and the lying.
Yeah, and the lying.
That's a con. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the con side of the list.
Yeah.
Anyway, my general thing, like, people talk about getting a doorbell, like, I'll just say there's other ones out there, not specifically saying, like, go the HomeKit route, just trying to first break away from the Ring hold. And once they're like, okay, maybe I won't get a Ring, then present other options, including the HomeKit options and why HomeKit would be the best choice. And usually, like, one of the biggest things, like, when talking about the Ring are, like, the repeated security issues and privacy issues that have come up. Like, the fact that they could just watch cameras is, like, concerning. Things like that. And, like, there's just enough of a history there that it makes me not comfortable putting it on my home or in my home. So that's, like, my first thing. Some people, they don't care about that. And if that's not going to persuade them, very few other things will. So especially when there's something that they give away half the time, or just mark down ridiculously cheap for things like Prime Day, it's really hard to convince them not to say, like, no, you really should spend, like, an extra $100 or $2 on your doorbell. Like, it's a hard sell.
Yeah. Also, people, like, moving into a new house or buying a house, I've had a couple people, they're like, I want to get cameras. I already have multiple Ring cameras. Like the sunk cost fallacy of, like, hey, if you switch to all HomeKit, you don't have to pay any subscriptions. And they're like, yeah, I already have 3 Rings attached to this house I just bought, so I'll just buy more of those. So credit to Amazon for, like, getting out there quickly and just saturating the market. But I don't know. Hopefully, maybe Apple can do some kind of, I don't know if they care to, but, like, make that more of an incentive to use it. I always thought the iCloud subscription thing would be enough of incentive, plus privacy and security. But anyway, you know, speaking of security, Andrew, let's thank our third and final sponsor, which specializes in security for businesses, which is Collide. Collide is our third and final sponsor. Listen, traditional endpoint security makes your workplace feel like a surveillance state. If you use mobile device management to really lock down devices, that can be frustrating for your employees because they don't feel like they have access to the tools that they need. You're shutting things down. Well, it doesn't have to be that way because Collide is a device security solution built around honest security. And their philosophy is your employees aren't your biggest risk, they're your biggest allies, and your relationship with them should be based on transparency and consent. And so what Collide does is, once you put it into your business, it will put messages in Slack privately to your employees, making those security and privacy recommendations. Like, let's say they saved a text file on their desktop with their passwords. Collide would send them a Slack message and they'd be like, maybe you don't want to do that because those are like secure passwords and maybe the desktop isn't the best place for that. And so those security issues, they'll be encouraging employees to take care of them on their own, giving them the practical steps to make those moves. Collide provides the right level of visibility for Mac, Windows, and Linux devices, can answer questions about your fleet security that traditional MDMs can't, so you can meet your security goals without compromising your values. What do you think about Collide, Andrew? I think you'd like it too.
There's nothing not to like here. I mean, it's putting these messages in Slack, a tool that your users are already using. It's empowering your employees to be able to do things on their own and not making them feel like you were breathing down their neck with things, and you're lightening the load on an IT department. Like, it is just across the board a win-win-win, as they would say in the office. So that's my vote.
That's it. So go to collide.com/HomeKit so you can find out how you can use Collide in your business. And when you follow that link, they give you a goodie bag just for doing a free trial. You do a free trial and you get some merch, which is awesome. So Collide, KOLIDE.com/HomeKit. The link is in the show notes as well. Our thanks to Collide for sponsoring this episode. And now this is not particularly HomeKit again, but the new M2 MacBook Air is out. It is July 15th was the day. It's like in the stores. If you go to an Apple store, you could check it out. Initial reviews came out last Thursday and seems pretty positive, especially that midnight color. Everybody loves it, even though it gets very fingerprinty. But yeah, what have you seen about it?
I'm pretty excited. Mine will be here. We'll have 3 videos up by the time that everybody is watching this or listening to this podcast. So I'll have much more impressions on it, but I'm excited. My favorite laptop of all time was like the 12-inch MacBook. So like I've always been like a fan of the Airs, but now between the addition of the M2 and all these other nice changes, it's such a cool new machine. So I'm pretty excited about this one. This is going to be a great machine.
Yes. Well, check out the Apple Insider YouTube for Andrew's videos. And from what I've seen, it's so thin. People are saying even like just the bottom keyboard is like almost the thickness of an iPad. Like, it's just so thin and light. And of course you get the M2 chip. The new midnight color, it looks really nice. Fingerprints, they might get on my nerves. So I don't know, that the new Starlight color supposedly resists them more. But anyway, it looks really cool. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts next week on that, Andrew.
I saw some people in those early reviews complaining about the notch, and it's those people I want to kick in the shins, because Apple literally does nothing but give you more space, and somehow it's like a negative. Like, they've got that notch on like the 16 Mac Pro. Like, they literally like added that whole length of a menu bar to your screen so that you have more real estate, and somehow just having to take out 3/4 of an inch or something of screen space inside of your menu bar is an issue for them. So that drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm used to the notch. We got notches everywhere. Notches on the phone, on the laptop, but I'm good with it. Bartender is a great Mac utility if you need something to manage all the icons in your menu bar so it doesn't go into the notch. Bartender is a good option for that. All right, well, I'm going to jump to a personal project that I had. We got the pool running now at the new house, and in the pool is, of course, a colored LED light kind of thing. And it has different patterns it can do. You can, have it stop on a solid color. It can, rotate through different colors and different modes. But the way that you change the color mode is the most, difficult and, ornery process. Apparently, the way to do it, there's no switch, there's no remote. The amount of times you turn the light off and then on is how you set the program. So, they have this, America mode where it'll go just between red, white, and blue. And to do that, you basically have to turn it off and then on 4 times quickly, and then it'll go into America mode. If you want it to stay on the magenta solid color, you have to go off and then on 14 times, Andrew. 14. You have to count
This
to
is
14.
normal, for sure.
Off, on, off, on. Are you familiar with this kind of like pool situation?
I'm pretty sure all lights are like this, Steven. I don't know why you're making a big deal.
Like
That's
pool
how
lights?
every...
Oh, I was gonna listen. This is my first ever like
This
pool
sounds
light.
real stupid.
This sounds so
like, have they not heard
dumb.
of dials? Like, just can't you like turn it? Like, that just seems dumb. Like,
Well, I'm sure there are like fancier pool systems, but apparently this light, like this is how this lighting system works. Like I actually have the image from the instructions. If you're on YouTube or if you're listening, go to YouTube so you can see this insanity that I'm about to put on the screen. But this is like the official manual for the modes. And so if you want magenta, that's 12 times. If you would like to save the current color, that's 13 times off and then on. And so it's the number of times to cycle the power 1 to 14 for all these different modes. It is literally insane. So what did I do? That light switch is, of course, a Leviton smart switch because I made all the light switches smart in the house. And I'm glad I did, especially knowing this insanity. And so what I did was create a series shortcut. And I've created a shortcut for each mode, and then I can create like a master shortcut to select from a menu. But basically, I said, all right, this shortcut is called, America mode or whatever, red, white, and blue. And I added this step in the shortcut for turn light on and then turn light off. 2 different things. I put a wait command because I realized it needed a little more time to think about whether it's off or on. So I put a wait 1 second in between that off and then on command. And of course, shortcuts has an action called repeat. And you can tell it how many times to repeat said action. And so I put that shortcut in. I said repeat 12 times, labeled that the magenta shortcut. And sure enough, Andrew, tap of a button, it'll go through the cycle. It takes like a minute because it has to turn off, wait a second, turn on, turn off, wait a second, turn on. But I can now get to the specific modes. I don't have to refer to that crazy manual. And I got my shortcuts for every color mode in the pool. And so ridiculous that is the way to change the colors, but shortcuts plus smart home got it done.
nice.
Yeah.
Seems much better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dumb way to. I don't even understand who invented that, but anyway, I get like if it's real simple, I guess anyway. If you have a pool like that, let me know. Tweet at me. I'd be curious. Now, Prime Day was last week. We covered some Prime Day deals, and then more deals came out, and you were updating that article. And so I want to know, did you buy anything during these Prime Day deals?
I really didn't buy all of that much. I spent like half the day just like most of the day. I just kept looking back for more HomeKit deals as like they were uncovered because somehow it is terrible like to search like on Prime Day like for something specific. Like I'm searching specifically on Prime Day for Philips Hue, and there's nothing. And then later I see an article. These are the Philips Hue Prime Day deals. I'm like, they didn't even show up in the search results. Just a bunch of like third-party like extensions for Hue light strips or something like that are just not official Hue products. Yeah. And like that was irking me, and it just made it much more tedious. I hope anybody out there used that HomeKit deals roundup article to find some good deals, because it was a freaking PETA to put together.
Wait,
but
isn't PETA the animal organization?
Yeah, but I'm spelling with an I.
Oh, okay. like pita bread. Like a Greek pita. Okay.
Like all caps PITA.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, I got like a couple things like not smart home related, like a kind of smart home, but I got my wife a wireless CarPlay adapter that was like $20 or $30 on sale. She doesn't know this yet. I guess she'll know by the time she listens to this. So surprise, girl, yeah. if this hadn't come in the mail yet, got you a wireless CarPlay adapter. But I got one of those, and then I got like some hot sauce. I really like hot sauce. Yep. So some hot sauce. And then I got another ice cube maker for like whiskey drinks, because I was really tired of like my ice cubes melting in like my bourbon and stuff. Like, 'cause we've got itty bitty ice cubes and they melt real fast. It's like super annoying. and I don't want to water down like my drinks too much. So I did get like an ice cube maker and holder that'll do like the spheres, and then
Okay.
I got a fish tank new cleaner because my freaking gravel keeps getting stuck in my cleaning tube. So
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
like, middle fingering that up left and right since I've got it. And now I found this other one that has like a whole thing that stops it from the gravel going down the cleaning tube. So I'm like, hey, that'll make my life easier, and it's like 40%
Okay.
off for Prime Day. So
Sure,
yeah,
for
some
sure.
minor little additions there.
Okay. Well, I actually got some smart home products ish. Well, one is definite. I had never had this before, and I wanted to try it for the office, and so I got the Eve button. The Eve button is it was on sale Prime Day, and so you can do three different programs with it: a single tap, double tap, triple tap, I believe. And so, kind of like the Wemo Stage controller, but I've never had the Eve button, so I wanted to try it. So I'm going to get that, and I'm going to put it in my office to run some of the scenes in here for filming and stuff like that. And then, second device I got, not HomeKit, but home-ish, Anker. They make this magnetic desktop charging station, which is, they call it the Mag Go, like an 8-in-1 charger. And I did this because I have a couple cables laying on my desk for charging, a Lightning, a USB-C, and they're all going to like bricks in this power strip that I mounted under the desk. And I was like, I wonder if I can clean this up and not have three just stray cables on the desk. And so I saw this thing. I knew it existed, but because it was Prime Day, it was on sale, so it popped to the top. And basically it has a MagSafe-ish charger on the front. It's just 7.5 watt charging, but it does hold your iPhone, so you can mount your iPhone 12 or 13. MagSafe sticks right on there. It's like a little ball with that flat MagSafe area. But then on the back, it has three outlets, like straight up power outlets, two USB-Cs and two USB-A ports that you can plug in and charge. And this can charge up to 65 watts, I believe, from like the USB-C ports. I actually have a handy little chart on the Amazon page where if you use one USB-C port, it will charge 65 watts. If you're using two USB ports, it'll do 30 watts and 20 watts from the two ports. So, they break it all down for you. But I got that to kind of clean up some of the cables on the desk and then, just be able to pop my phone on there and it'll charge. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was on sale for Prime Day. So boom, got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, a final thing. This is a very mysterious product here, or so I don't even know if it's a product. But you said put fish robot in the notes. Fish robot or robot.
Is it not self-explanatory?
No, I don't think so. So tell me about the fish robot.
Fine, I'll elaborate for you.
Yeah, please.
In my searching for HomeKit Prime Day deals, because typing in HomeKit into the search bar yielded very many non-HomeKit products. I was left kind of just running around the internet looking for things and from different manufacturers. And I found something about like, oh, cool smart home products. And like I go down a rabbit hole. I'm like, oh, cool smart home products like I haven't heard of. And I'm looking at this like slideshow and like some of them are like, they're like ragging on them as being terrible and dumb. And I saw this one and I can't tell if it's terrible or cool. And it is, as digital trends call it, a Roomba for your aquarium. So if anyone's familiar with fish tanks, you usually have magnetic little pucks with like a felt on one side and like a kind of a Brillo pad on the other, and you run it across your aquarium, and it cleans your aquarium glass, prevents any algae buildup, keeps fish happier. You can see your tank, all that kind of fun stuff. I can't send you a link, Stephen, because I'm not on my one machine. But if you want to head to, so this is called the MOAI, but it's MOAI devices.com. And it is a straight up smart robot for your aquarium, and it'll come out at regular intervals and clean the glass on your tank and then return to its like docking station. And it even has the ability, for some reason, for you to live stream your fish tank and see inside of the tank at what's going on. And you can even control it like a little robot game controller if you're trying to like look under things. And I think this is really cool and really neat. I mean, it is a thing to make sure you're doing it regularly, and I do not always do that until like there's noticeable algae buildup or something on the glass, or we're like out of town and I'm worried that whoever is looking after our house didn't feed the fish, and I'm like, man, I really sure hope my fire shrimp is okay because he needs like sometimes special food feeding because he's a little scaredy pants. Like I worry about these things, and if I had just a little robot that would just drive around and make sure he's cool, I would feel better. It'd be some peace of mind. So I can't tell if this is brilliant or stupid. One of the two, for sure. But yeah, that's the little fish robot that I found.
It looks super fancy. I mean, this website, they did it up. And so that is hilarious. MOAI. Okay. Fish robot. Does the big part go in the tank or outside the tank? Because there's like a magnet and then... I can't tell.
I don't know, Steven.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know.
Listeners, if anybody has the MOAI fish tank cleaner,
I think on the
MOAI.
outside. I think it goes on the outside.
Yeah, I think the big one's on the outside, the little one's on the inside, and then it magnetizes, and so then the big robot moves along the exterior. The little piece that's magnetized inside, I guess, cleans the tank. That's cool. All right. That's pretty funny. All right, well, I put a link in the show notes. If anyone would like to try the MOAI Fish Robot Cleaner, that's a unique one. That's a unique one. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Catch us on YouTube, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. Check out all our sponsors in the show notes. All links to everything we talked about there as well. Give us a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. And as always, we'll catch you next time. Peace. Boom, look at that. 45-minute show.
We did it.